Hi, welcome to the first video of Guitar Basics. I am making this series of videos for Musical Live's Guitar Orchestra members. We're a community guitar organization where we welcome anyone with any types of guitars, and we don't require any playing experience to join us. This series of video will also be made available online for anyone to access. And I hope this can be helpful for you in some way. Enjoy. Today we will be talking about how to hold your guitar. In classical style, we either use a footstool or some kind of guitar support to elevate the guitar. And I'll show you how I do it with the footstool. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is that most people actually have the footstool other way around. But if the ankle is slanted up this way, you might create tension at the ankle. So a better way to do might be just turn it around. You pick up the guitar, and this curvature goes onto the left leg. And then the lower bout of the guitar will be touching the inner side of your right leg. And this portion, the upper bout here, would touch my chest. And now if I put my right arm on the guitar is now completely secure, which frees up my left hand. The whole idea of a holding position is where you will be set up comfortably and have good access to your instrument. So maintain a good posture and have access. So that's the goal. It is important to talk about two angles when we're holding the guitar. One is this angle. If I hold the guitar flatter like this, I will have to lean forward quite a bit to access the higher register, and it's quite uncomfortable to bend the wrist this way. Now, if I have the guitar way high up, more steep this way, I'll get a good access to the higher register, but then my left arm is always raised up, so that creates tension as well. So you need to experiment and find out what the position is going to work for you. There are many guitarists playing very steep angle and some playing very flat angle, and they all produce beautiful music. So I'm not here to tell you how to hold your guitar. I'm just merely give you suggestions. So this is the angle that works good for me. I get the access to the higher register nice and easy. If I really have to go really high, I can lean forward a little bit, but then I'll remember to come back to the straight position when I'm down, and my arm is tend to be quite relaxed when I do it this way. Another angle to talk about is this angle. So if I pointed the guitar down to the floor, then I will project the sound down, which is not ideal. And also, if I were to play guitar like this, I'm leaning very far forward, and I can't really see what my left hand is doing. If I lean too far back this way, the guitar is very easily slided out if I'm not careful, so I gotta watch out for that. And also the sound hole is pointing way up to the ceiling, so you want the sound hole to project the sound out, but not too low or not too far or too high. This position will allow me see my left hand very well, but the problem is that I have to really be uncomfortable to curve my wrist and an arm come over to be able to access to the lower strings. So again, experiment and find out what's the best position that will work for you. One more thing to mention is that when we wear short sleeves, the right arm to have problem, especially if it starts sweating, then you have a hard time moving on the guitar. So a good way to do is get a used sock, get it washed up and cut off the part that's already worn out on the bottom, and then you make yourself a temporary sleeve to go on your arm, and now it can slide a lot easier. Some people prefer to use it, I do, and some people don't. So try it and see if you like it. Other ways of holding your guitar is, instead of using the footstool, because sometimes people find that by elevating their leg, they might have back pain or be uncomfortable at the back. So what you would do is buy some type of a guitar support. You can search them online. They either come with suction cups, some on the side, some sucks on the back of the guitar, or sometimes they have magnets that you glue on the, or you put a strip inside, and then you have the magnet joints to secure the guitar support. Those guitar support are pretty good. They have height adjustment. You can also adjust the angle. So the way to do that is you would have your foot flat, or your feet flat on the ground, and then the guitar is elevated by the guitar support in this area. There's other ways that you can do it, is using a cushion. So for myself, I don't really like to stick anything onto my guitar, especially this one with French polish. Now, many people say it doesn't really matter because you can buy those sheets that you can stick on here so to protect your guitar. But anyways, I prefer not to use any of those type of methods to support my guitar. So I either use my best preferred method is use footstool. So if I were to practice for a longer time, or I go out, I would use the footstool. I also like the fact that I'm actually holding the guitar. That's quite comfortable. Now with the cushion that I use is that when I'm sitting on an office chair, usually I'm facing the computer, and my sheet music is on the side, and I would just turn my chair to face the sheet music so I can practice. And in that case, I don't need to have a little footstool that I have to move. And so I use a cushion that I just put it between the leg and the guitar, and I practice it that way. Now, there are also many different ways that you can play the guitar or hold the guitar without any of the guitar support. So if you have a acoustic guitar, you might have a back strap, right? You can hold your guitar this way with a back strap. You can also play stand up using that method. Some people simply like to cross their legs and then play the guitar this way. This is actually quite comfortable as well. You just have to learn how to have good access and without have bad postures, leaning towards and things like that. Just pay attention to those details, and then you should be good to go. And there are also flamenco players, they prefer to have the guitar just on their right leg. So this is quite amazing to watch. They hold the right arm down, and then they can free to play with their left arm. So what they do is sometimes they put a non-sticky pad underneath of the guitar here, and there's one on their right leg so that the guitar doesn't do this, right? You don't want this to slide off on you. So Again, there are many different ways to hold your guitar and play the guitar. I recommend you to experiment and find what works for you and go from there. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later.